Here is your storytelling video script. Writing. She fired the janitor for shining a light at her blind daughter, until he saw what no one else. Have you ever judged someone in a single moment, only to discover later that they were the one person who truly cared? What if the person you thought had crossed a line was actually trying to save someone you loved? This is the touching story of a mother, her blind daughter, and a janitor whose simple act of kindness revealed something no one else could see. Stay with us until the end, because this story might change the way you look at the people around you. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Corner of Kind Choices, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stories of kindness deserve to be spread, and your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to people everywhere. It was a bright spring morning in Chicago when Melissa Harper rushed through the halls of Lincoln Elementary School. Melissa was a successful attorney. She was respected, organized, and always busy. Every minute of her day was planned. Since losing her husband 3 years earlier, she had dedicated her life to raising her 10-year-old daughter, Emma. Emma was blind. Despite her blindness, Emma was cheerful and curious. She loved books in Braille, music, and listening to the sounds of the world around her. Melissa admired her daughter's strength, but she also worried constantly about her safety. That morning, Melissa arrived unexpectedly at school to drop off Emma's forgotten lunch. As she walked through a hallway near the music room, she suddenly froze. A janitor named Walter was standing beside Emma. He was holding a flashlight. To Melissa's shock, he pointed the beam toward Emma's face. "What are you doing?" Melissa shouted. Walter immediately lowered the flashlight. "Ma'am, I can explain." But Melissa wasn't interested in explanations. "My daughter is blind," she snapped. "Why would you shine a light in her eyes?" Teachers nearby turned to look. Walter appeared embarrassed. "I was only trying to." "You were trying to what?" Melissa interrupted. "Humiliate her? Make fun of her condition?" Walter remained silent. Melissa marched straight to the principal's office. Within an hour, she demanded disciplinary action. The principal, worried about the situation, placed Walter on temporary suspension while the school investigated. Melissa left feeling satisfied. She believed she had protected her daughter. But Emma didn't seem happy. That evening, Emma sat quietly during dinner. Finally, she spoke. "Mom, Walter wasn't being mean." Melissa looked up. "What do you mean?" "He's nice." Emma gently pushed her food around her plate. "He talks to me every morning." Melissa frowned. "He shined a flashlight in your eyes." Emma nodded. "I know." "Then why are you defending him?" Emma hesitated. "He always says he's trying to help people." Melissa sighed. "Sweetheart, some people say nice things but don't mean them." Emma didn't argue. But she still looked sad. Over the next week, Melissa forgot about the incident. Her work consumed her attention. Then one afternoon she received an unexpected call from Emma's teacher. "Mrs. Harper," the teacher said carefully, "there's something I'd like to discuss." Melissa sensed concern in her voice. "What happened?" "It's about Emma." Fear immediately gripped Melissa's heart. The teacher explained that Emma had recently become withdrawn during class. She seemed distracted and tired. More concerning, she occasionally tilted her head strangely while listening. The school nurse had noticed it too. Doctors were consulted. Several appointments followed. After numerous tests, specialists delivered surprising news. Emma wasn't completely blind. A tiny portion of her visual system still showed signs of activity. The doctors were puzzled. Based on previous diagnoses, this wasn't expected. Further examinations revealed something even more surprising. There might be an experimental treatment available. It wouldn't fully restore Emma's vision. But there was a chance she could regain limited sight. Melissa sat speechless in the doctor's office. For years, every specialist had told her there was no hope. Now suddenly there was a possibility. Even if it was small. When she shared the news with Emma, tears filled both their eyes. Then Emma quietly asked a question. "Do you think Walter knew?" Melissa blinked. "What?" "The flashlight." Emma leaned forward. "Maybe he saw something." The thought lingered in Melissa's mind. A few days later, curiosity got the better of her. She contacted the school principal. "Can I speak with Walter?" she asked. The principal agreed. Walter had not returned to work since the suspension. Melissa found him working part-time at a community center across town. When she arrived, he was mopping a floor. He looked surprised to see her. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Melissa broke the silence. "I owe you an apology." Walter set aside the mop. "You don't owe me anything." "Yes, I do." She lowered her eyes. "I judged you without listening." Walter smiled gently. "It happens." Melissa took a deep breath. "Why did you shine that flashlight at Emma?" Walter was quiet for a moment. Then he explained. Years earlier, before becoming a janitor, he had worked as an assistant in an eye clinic. He wasn't a doctor. But he had learned basic observation techniques. One morning while talking with Emma, he noticed something unusual. When sunlight reflected off a nearby window, her eyes reacted slightly. Most people would never notice. But Walter did. Over several weeks, he quietly observed. The response happened again. And again. Finally, he used a flashlight to confirm his suspicion. "I thought she might still have some light perception," Walter said softly. Melissa stared at him. "You noticed that?" Walter nodded. "I wasn't trying to hurt her." His voice cracked slightly. "I just thought maybe there was something everyone else had missed." Tears filled Melissa's eyes. The very act she had viewed as cruel had been motivated by concern. By hope. By kindness. "You were right," she whispered. Walter looked confused. Melissa told him about the doctor's findings. As she spoke, emotion overwhelmed them both. When she finished, Walter sat down heavily in a nearby chair. For several seconds, he couldn't speak. Finally, he smiled. "That's wonderful." There was no pride in his voice. No desire for recognition. Just genuine happiness for Emma. That touched Melissa more than anything else. Months passed. Emma began participating in the experimental treatment program. Progress was slow. Some days brought disappointment. Other days brought tiny victories. Then one afternoon something remarkable happened. Emma was sitting outside with her mother. The sun was beginning to set. Suddenly Emma pointed toward the horizon. "Mom." Melissa turned. "What is it?" Emma's face lit up with wonder. "I think I can see the light." Melissa's heart nearly stopped. Tears streamed down her cheeks. It wasn't full vision. It wasn't a miracle cure. But it was something. Something precious. Something beautiful. As the months continued, Emma gained small amounts of visual awareness. She could detect bright lights. Large shapes. Movement. Each achievement felt enormous. And throughout it all, Walter remained a quiet supporter. He attended community fundraisers for Emma's treatment. He checked in regularly. He never asked for credit. Eventually, the school invited Walter back. Not only did he return, but he was honored during a special assembly. Students, teachers, and parents applauded as the principal shared his story. When Walter stepped onto the stage, he looked uncomfortable with the attention. Then Emma walked up beside him. The room fell silent. She reached for his hand. "Thank you," she said. Walter's eyes filled with tears. "For what?" Emma smiled, foreseeing something no one else could see. Many people in the audience began crying. Melissa certainly did. That day she learned a lesson she would never forget. Kindness doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes it comes from people we overlook. Sometimes it comes from those whose jobs seem ordinary. And sometimes the people standing quietly in the background are the ones paying the closest attention. Years later, Melissa often shared Walter's story. Not because of the medical discovery. Not because of the treatment. But because of the reminder it carried. Every person has value. Every person deserves to be heard. And every act of kindness matters, even when it is misunderstood. The next time you encounter someone who seems insignificant, take a moment before judging them. Listen. Look closer. You may discover a heart full of compassion hidden behind an ordinary face. Because kindness has a way of revealing things that others miss. And sometimes, one small act of caring can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, remember to share kindness wherever you go. A simple gesture, a listening ear, or a moment of compassion can become a light in someone else's darkness. Thank you for spending time with us today on Corner of Kind Choices. Until next time, keep choosing kindness, because even the smallest light can help someone find their way.